Barbara, your microphone is muted.
Okay. Asante, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is there echo?
Yes, there is echo because you joined twice.
Okay. Okay, Asante, is it better now?
Yes, it's better now.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe I believe we are live now, right?
Yes, I think we are.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We had some slight hitches, but we are on. We are live now. This is Voices of Influence, and this is episode 2, and we are having our Honorable Eunice Asantewaa Ankomah. Yes, I call her Honorable, the international woman. This evening we have her. She's going to tell us all about her life. But before she tells us about her life, I just want everyone to understand the whole focus of this podcast. Okay. So for about 29 weeks, I've been writing about influential women and influential men who have impacted my life positively. And I always say that mentors can be found far away. Mentors can even be found in books. Mentoring is not always a one-on-one something. You can listen to the story of someone, you can read the story of someone, and just one sentence will change your whole perspective about life. So I've been writing about these influential people. I call it my Wednesday Man or Woman Crush series. So at a point I realized that why don't we just get to hear their journey? Why don't we get to know them more, to know how they've made it this far? Okay. And so, my first episode, I spoke about myself, and this time I am talking to Asantewaa Ankomah. I'll be reading a little about her, a short profile of Asantewaa before we proceed. Okay. Now, before I read, I would kindly urge each and every one of us to share the link and invite a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. You can join either on YouTube or LinkedIn Live. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, I'd want to read a short profile of Eunice. Eunice Asantewaa Ankomah is a strategic communications and digital finance professional with more than 14 years of experience in Africa's financial services and fintech sector. Her expertise lies in developing and executing integrated communication strategies, strengthening organizational visibility, and driving stakeholder engagement across corporate development and international partner organizations. Eunice has established herself as a trusted advisor for fintech communication, C-suite executive communication consultancy firms, fintech leaders, and development partners. Eunice is an accredited public relations practitioner and certified digital finance practitioner. She holds a certification in inclusive instant payment system, gender and digital finance from Digital Frontiers. And she has also completed several courses. She's a lover of God and owes her success to God. She's married with 2 children. So, Eunice, you're welcome on stage. You're welcome on stage. We are so happy to have you. Today, I'll go ahead and just ask you some few questions. Or you can just give us a brief intro about who you are. Who is Eunice? Before I even go into the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara, and good evening to everyone joining us. I'm humbled to be part of the Voices of Influence series. I didn't know I was an influence, but thank you, Barbara, for this opportunity. It's an honor to be here, and a good evening to everyone listening to us from wherever you are joining us from. Who is Eunice? Hmm. That's sometimes a very difficult question to answer, but I will just say that I am a young woman on a mission to live a purpose driven life, one that is inspired by God and motivated to make an impact. I think that as an individual, I am driven towards impact. I go places where I can see visible transformations in the lives of people based on the work that I do. And so, pretty much, a lot of my work has been influenced by what I can do to contribute my quota, whether it's to work, whether it's to improve lives. I get to do that. So yes, I'm a girl on a mission to live my life, a driven purpose life to the glory of God. You can hear Mama on the background, and I'm a mother too.
We understand. We understand. We understand. So we want to know about your career journey and what has led you into the finance services and communication industry. I mean, tell us about how you got into this industry.
Thank you, Barbara. I think growing up, I have always wanted to be a communicator. So I didn't really know what it was called at the time. I remember I would say, "Oh, I want to be a newscaster. Oh, I want to be this," and a lot of that was influenced by my dad because he reads a lot, and then so we would watch the evening news and you'd see Akushika Akwe, you see Auntie, and I was so pretty like I was really influenced by them. So I sought out to pursue a career in that, knowing that I had interest in that. Please, a minute, let me just. Sorry, thank you. I've
We
even lost my
understand. We are all mothers.
my
At a point, I thought it
my
was even coming from my end.
no. Yeah, so pretty much I really wanted to be a communication professor. So I literally had to toe that line. I remember when I finished my secondary education and I was trying to go to school to do tertiary. At the time I didn't know that GIG had even started their communications, like a degree in communication. I knew they were a diploma, a school, a diploma awarding institution. So in order to pursue what I really wanted to do, I chose a program that sort of aligned with where I was going to. So I chose English with from UCC, English at University of Ghana, and English at KNUS with other combinations, of course, because I knew that it would be a very good foundation for me if I wanted to pursue the career in communication. So that led me to do a first degree in that. And while doing my first degree, I decided to do my project work in public relations. And then after school, I pursued a degree, a Master of Philosophy degree in Communication and Media Studies, so that I can find my way back to where I truly wanted to be. Now, digital finance came in because I started my career in at the time it was a payment systems industry now coming up, a budding industry that was just coming up. And I happened to be the first communications person to work within that organization, championing that. And because I knew that to to be better positioned to support them in the area of communications, I needed more than just my skills in communications. I needed to understand the industry. So through a mentor, I came across digital finance program from Digital Frontiers Institute, and then I paid myself to do the certification, and then proceeded to do the inclusive instant payment certification as well from Digital Frontiers. And then, of course, if you are working in the financial services space and looking at the gender gap, you will take advantage of any course that helps you understand the gender dynamics. So I then went ahead and did the gender course also by the Digital Frontier Institute, making me a gender change maker as well. So that has been my journey, Barbara.
This is so inspiring. Seems any important to bring on board the English language, the impact of mentorship, the self-development, the fact that you could see the trend, like what is important to get on board. This is so impressive. I've been thrown away already. We just started, but I'm so happy. We'll come to the topic of mentorship, self-development, and all that. But I just want us to talk about, was there any defining moment, any turning point in your career at a point that you would want to share with us?
Yes. So when I finished my first degree, I got the opportunity. Remember, I said I already knew where I was going to, and I was very intentional about some of the things with God on my side. So I did my national service as a university relations office at KNUST, all in my bid to understand what public relations was with my English background, so that if opportunity came in that I could take advantage of that. Now, while doing there, by the grace of God, another opportunity opened for me. University of Energy had just been started, and KNUST was supporting them. So I was highly recommended to go and work as an assistant registrar or the secretary to the registrar of the university. In fact, I actually got the job and was working with him while doing my national service. So, and I had also applied because I didn't know that that opportunity would come. So I was just living my life. So I had applied for a Master of Philosophy degree in Communications and Media Studies. And so whilst I was doing the the I had started this work with the registrar, I got admission to go to school to do my master's. And it was such a tough decision for me to make because, yeah, I was praying for a job after school. And God has given me a job, and then I have an offer to go back to school. So, in fact, I didn't even tell my parents about it. I didn't tell my dad I had gotten a job. I just told him I had gotten an admission to go back to school. So, the defining moment was that I had to speak to, so I prayed, I told God, the answer that the registrar, the boss I was going to work with, would give me, I would take it as his answer for me. So I went to him and told him, hey, but I have also secured admission to go to school to do my master's, and like I'm a bit confused because the job would give me some experience. But he looked at me and said, young lady, I think if I were you, I would take the opportunity to go back to school. And that changed a lot of things for me because going back to school meant that I was going to hone my skills and really understand communication, and to learn to understand what it means to practice communication. So going back to school and finishing the communications opened another door for me to get job opportunities within the communications industry because now I had what it takes to work in the industry, and I had a background in English that made me a better writer, maybe gave me a little more command over the English language. And then I now had the science and arts of communications that I needed to thrive in the communication industry. So yes, that was quite defining for me. There's
Amazing.
other moments,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was quite defining for me.
Amazing. I like the fact that we trust in our prayers. Anytime we pray and we trust in our prayers and we have faith, we ask God that whichever way it goes is His will, and that alone is enough. So that I'll say things don't just happen; they happen just because you've prayed and you believe that that is the will of God. Yeah. So thank you so much. I've seen. I mean, one of the things I was going to ask about the key skills and competencies that young people should have in this industry, but I think you've spoken a lot about it on the command on the English language. If you know you're going to be a communications person and getting into the finance side, so you also make sure you were aligned with courses in that line. Yeah, so we can go back to it later, but let's look at how can one navigate the competitive environment of banking and finance while staying true to their values. You know how, not just banking and finance, in the corporate sector, how are we able to navigate this competitive? People are doing a whole lot of things to rise up to the ladder, but having values as Christians, how can we navigate all these things? Yeah, you can help us.
Okay, so I think that you should stay true to yourself and know who you are and whose you are. When you know who you are and whose you are, it makes a lot of difference. I've always said that if you're a young lady and you start sleeping your way to the top, there is a limit. You can't go any further. Nobody takes you seriously. If you know who you are, it's believing in what you bring to the table. And that comes from adding value to yourself and being confident about what you know. Okay. What are you adding to yourself? There are several people who are looking for the same opportunities that you are looking for. What makes you stand out is the value that you add to yourself. When you take a degree program, for example, there are lots of people who go to school to pursue different degree programs. You sat in the same classroom with about 300 other students, 700 students, and all of you are coming out to look for the same job. Now, what makes you stand out is the value that you have added on. Like I said, for example, I found myself in the fintech industry at the time when fintech was just coming up. And then quickly I knew that to stand out as a communications person or as a fintech communications specialist, I needed to add value to myself. I needed to add more than just knowing about the science of communication because I needed to understand the industry. So when you give me any task, any communication task to perform, in the fintech industry or payments industry or financial technology advocacy or even any advocacy in payments, I bring on board a different lens. One, my understanding of the art and science of communication, and then two, the knowledge that I have in the industry. So, as a young person, what value are you adding to yourself aside the degree that you have acquired from school? Now, technology is everybody is talking about AI. Are you sitting on the fence or you taking advantage to read about it? Though we are talking about customer experience, not just customer service. If you are in that industry, what have you done to add value to yourself? Going for webinars, taking advantage of workshop, summits, and just going to improve yourself, going the extra mile. They taught you how to write a memo, but beyond the memo, there are other things that you need to learn. What are you doing to add that value? So I just say that knowing who you are is knowing that you are more than just the degree that you have. There is something that you have to offer, and that confidence to know what you have to offer comes from your ability to add value to yourself. And then the second is knowing whose you are. I am a proud daughter of God. And the Bible tells me that my body is a temple of God. So I know whose I am. If my body is a temple of God, then the temple of God cannot be treated anyhow. So if I find myself in an environment where I have to trade my values, trade who I am for favors, for work, that's when the whose I am comes in. So I go back to my father and then I get to pray. So whose are you? Who do you belong to? What kind of faith are you holding on to? What keeps you grounded? You should know all those things as a young lady and or as a young person and let those values push you. Because listen, when you know who you are and you know whose you are, it informs a lot of things that you do. And you see, there is nothing that beats integrity. When you have values, when you hold on to your values, there is some level of integrity and credibility that comes with your name and even how you perform work. And that would give you a competitive edge over every competition that you have to deal with in your industry. Thank you, Barbara.
Wow, wow. This is deep. I mean, on all sides, you've just tackled it on all sides. That's adding value to oneself, but also being a person of value, a person of principle, a person of integrity. And I think I spoke about that in my book. Principles are values you have set for yourself where no one can see you. But what have you said to yourself that you will never do, even when the wolves are at you? Okay, so these are great insights. I mean, you spoke about AI, what is coming up. And funny enough, my next question is talking about what are some of the paths or the emerging areas in financial services that the young people should pay attention to. I mean, what you saw something in digital finance, you saw it coming. A lot of people don't see what is about coming up to know what they should pursue. And also I picked something from what you're saying. It's not just about specialization. Sometimes it's about diversity, which will also give you options to know to have options. Specialization can be good, but diversity too can help you also do so many other things so that you are not stuck to one thing. But now we want to know what should the young people pursue? What is coming up? Maybe AI will not be there in the next 5 years. What's next?
I think that for every field that we find ourselves in, things are changing within the industry that you are in. Okay, and I'd always say that when you read and you pay attention to trends, you're able to know what is ahead of you and properly prepare for it. When you take, for example, AI like this, I mean, there are school of thought that AI would take people's places and all that. But for me, I see AI as a complementary technology, that helps you do things better and faster and more efficient. So where I sit, me that I'm learning how to use the AI and use it, so I will not be the person that will be out of job. So whatever it is, the person that is afraid that AI will replace it and will not learn how to use AI that would be affected. So whichever industry that you are in, the first thing you need to know is that that industry is changing with technology. When you take finance, finance is changing because we have introduced technology into how we perform finance. So, for example, if you are a teller right now in a financial institution, you should by now know that financial institutions are trying to incorporate technology, which is why they have a whole unit for e-banking. Some even have a whole unit for mobile money, and so things are changing. Some have we didn't used to have cyber security departments in the bank. Now we are having cyber security. Some banks are even creating units for just AI alone. So if you're in the banking sector right now, what you should be asking yourself is the particular role that you are performing, what is likely to change in the next 2, 3, 4 years, and what can you do to position yourself such that when the role or a vacancy opens, you'll be in a position to take it. We recently trained some people in financial services as part of the Young Women in STEM program that I was part of, and we had people within the GAMFIN and non-bank financial institutions taking part in those calls. And I remember for those that I had to place call to convince to learn, I kept telling them that look, today you think that your employer is bothering you by offering you this opportunity. Tomorrow, a first year student who took advantage of this opportunity will come and replace you because they will be looking for someone with expertise in mobile money and they would have taken courses and you wouldn't have. So your experience would no longer count. They would come and then they would come and be heads over you and then you start complaining. But you have forgotten that you had the opportunity to do those same programs and you didn't do it. So what I'm saying is that for every field that you find yourself, it is changing. Technology is changing how we do things, several things, whether it's customer service management, whether it's communication and public relations. If you're in the PR and comms industry, you know that technology AI is shaping how you do things. So if you sit back and you don't learn how to use it, some company will sit and then train AI tools to do what you are doing, and then you say you are out of job. So look out for the skills sets that will be needed, and there are a lot of reports that gives you insight into the future of work. So look for those things, future of work in the area that you are trying to build capacity in. What value do you need to add? You have to go back to school to top up. There are several online courses that are constantly churning out programs that you can take advantage of. So is it Coursera you are registering? Is it EDX you are registering with? Is it even LinkedIn Learning you are taking advantage of? Know the trends that are coming up in your industry and be prepared to invest a little more money into that. And then the other thing is you have to be a student of reading all your life. Like you can't say you want to improve or you can't have better skills without incorporating reading into what you do. I mean, be a lifelong student of reading. Read books, learn from people, learn from lessons and mistakes that people have made. They say experience is the best teacher, but I've always said that some experiences shouldn't be repeated because when you read, you pick cues from how others have done things, and then that informs your own plans and your own steps. So the internet is there for all of us to read. You can decide to go and watch comedy videos all you want, or you can decide to use that same tool to look for the trends that are shaping your industry and then pursue courses, keep the certificate in wait for the opportunities that would come. Because opportunities, when it meets preparation, sparks fire. So prepare yourself, keep your certificate there, and then when the opportunities come, you can take advantage of them.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, this is so deep. It's so deep. We all have access to the internet, but what are others using it for? Okay. Some are using it just to laugh, some are using it to educate themselves, some are using it to check the future of work in their area. I mean, you've said it all. Talking about reading, there's a whole question on reading. And they say mentors are found in books. What do mentors do to us? They straighten our path. We learn from their mistakes so that we don't do the same mistakes. So there's a quote I came across that says that if you want to know the value of a leader, check
The
his
library.
library. And I'm wondering, in fact, the last time I was talking to somebody, I was like, when I made this quote, we were wondering, do people even have libraries these days?
Mm,
People feel reading is a cake. What do you say to this quote? Because people have stopped buying books. People are just on the internet. People are even asking, what time do you even get to read? So now we want to know the worth of a leader is the size of a library. Is it
the
true?
library. So true. I've never come across a leader who doesn't read. And this you can get from even the readers, those who write, the authors. When you read books and by Robin Sharma, he would make a lot of reference to books that he has read. And when you read the books of Michelle Obama, she would make reference to books that she has read. I mean, I'm yet to see an author who hasn't made reference to books that they have read. And when you check the great leaders that's the ones that we've had and the ones that if you can ask your CEO, you can ask your line manager, any leader of their sort will tell you that reading makes a huge difference. If you can be a leader who can impact lives and you are not reading, it's like reading keeps you in touch with what is happening and it takes you into the lives of people that you would otherwise um, would not have had the opportunity of meeting anywhere. Imagine reading a book written by Barack Obama, sharing experiences about his presidency and taking you into his world, something you would never get from the media. You get it? So the good things in the lives of people are hidden in the books that they write, the experiences, the lessons. This month, I think Girl Go Getters, we are reading The Psychology of Money. And I was surprised to know that Bill Gates and his friend, they had another friend when they were growing up, and how they got so engrossed in computers. I was happy to know, I was surprised to know that Warren Buffett didn't start investing in his 40s. So you sit and then you admire Warren Buffett, and then you read the book and you notice that he started investing way younger, way earlier than we
And
thought.
it's 10.
At age 10, yes. And then you realize that, oh, okay. So in fact, the money we are even talking about, the wealth we want to create, it has more to do with our mind and behavior than it has to do with the money that people will hand over to you. And these are lessons that, trust me, you can't find like anywhere. Okay, so for me, if you're a leader, and now we are talking about empathetic leadership. People are just used to the autocratic kind of leadership, holding on to power and being the version of being versions that they cried about to other people because they don't know any better. But when you read, you know that leadership has evolved. You are combining different aspects of leadership. What kind of style is it? Is it a transformation style? How does it, if it's transformation, what level of empathy are you introducing it? At what point do you combine empathy with authority? So all these things are things that you get from books. And all the greatest leaders that we've had, and people, you can ask President Mahama. President Mahama couldn't have authored a book if he wasn't a reader himself. And you notice that the lifestyles of people, billionaires, tell me, what's the man's name? Otitola. I don't pronounce. Recently was a book, and the only way you can get into his world and see his experiences would be the book that he has written. He will pour himself into that book, something that you cannot find online. Okay, so if you really want to be a leader, and I tell my son every day, readers are leaders, because when you read, you are ahead of your time. Think and Grow Rich takes you into years of experiences and into lives of people who are long gone and made money that I wasn't even born. But I get to read about them thanks to books. So if you want to be a leader and if you want to lead the world, you cannot rule out the role that books play. I mean, my dad is a typical example. My dad doesn't have the master's degree, but if my dad engages you in conversations, he can speak across topics just because he reads. Okay, and he can debate you on all fronts because he reads. So he's well read. He would read back to back of books, back to back of. In fact, he reads and even reads Watchtower. Um, Recently I sat by someone who says he was a Jehovah's Witness, and then he was talking about what book. I was reading a small book by Pastor Mensa Otabil. I was like, oh, how do I know about the Watchtower? And there is another one. There is a Watchtower which speaks about their awake, and then Watchtower speaks about their faith, and awake speaks about general things. I was like, oh yes, I will. And I started explaining to him the difference and the fact that I like reading the awake because it touches on generic things and about Christianity and doesn't really preach their faith. And he was surprised. And I was telling him that, yeah, because my dad would collect it and read them back to back and leave it. And when you pick it, they have different life lessons and I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. But that's to say that, I mean, books, they have a way of exposing you to things that you wouldn't otherwise get. So it's in your interest as a young person, as a budding leader, to at least incorporate reading into your activity. And nobody is saying you should sit 24/7. I'm a mother, I have a big schedule. So I know when to read. Sometimes I can take one book. I have a book under my pillow. I have one on the dining table. We have a library, a mini library. So as I'm sitting there, I can pick the book and then I'll start reading. I might not finish it, but at least I try to read something. Okay, whether it's a storybook, whether it's a personal development book, whether it's a fiction, whether I just try to read something every month, squeeze in so that I can be abreast with what is happening around me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Asantua. Let me read some comments in the chat box. I see from Dr. Bennett saying, exactly, AI isn't just artificial intelligence, but also assisted intelligence. It's here to augment our work. And I see Emanuela giving us some emojis here, and Dr. Bennis too. I mean, I'm so impressed with what we are discussing. I'm so glad. A whole lot of things coming up. I mean, when you talk about how you enter the world of Barack Obama, because he's written the book. I mean, when you write your book, it's like your whole world is out there. Like one of my sister-in-laws told me that, my sister, your book is naked. I said, I know. So when people, whenever someone is even buying my book, I'm like, oh my God, it's like my world has gone out there. And then if someone is not reading, if you bought it and you're not reading, I don't even mind, because the book is too naked. So even if you don't read, but I mean, you enter the world of people and you pick some lessons. And I always say that sometimes people feel like they know it all, but just one line, one sentence, it can change your whole perspective about life. It can be the turning point of your whole life. So, I mean, you've spoken about a lot. I want us to talk about mentorship and networking. Let me see the question on that. It's saying, what role has mentorship and networking played in your career growth? And how can young professionals assess these opportunities?
So one of the I won't say mistakes I made whilst I was going on. I felt keeping to myself was doing me more good. So throughout university, I didn't really have anything like mentorship. Maybe I had it indirectly, but I didn't really think they really mattered. Like, but now looking back, I know that there were many people in my life that I didn't think they were mentors, but now I know they were. And that's speaking to when people say they think they have to have like a personal one-on-one relation, like book time to have a session with you in order to know that they are being mentored. So from university, I now look back and I know that okay, my prayer life, the people who were calling me to go to church, checking up on me, making sure that I build my faith in God, they were mentors. But at the time, I didn't even know that I was being mentored, because in my mind, the mentorship was like someone sitting you down and having a one-on-one conversation with you, and then you know that you are being mentored. But in actual fact, now I look back and I'm like, okay, even though I felt I didn't make a conscious effort, I had people along my journey who were mentoring me. The registrar I worked with at the investor relations office, who recommended me highly to the my first job that I didn't take, was in actual fact a mentor that I didn't know. So how I meant, when you give yourself value and you put yourself in what you are doing and you deliver, sometimes you catch the eye of people that you might not even think are mentors, but are mentoring you in a way. They shape you, they direct your path. And then when I started working, that was when I actually felt that I was actively seeking for mentors, even though I had them, but I didn't even know that the relationship that we had was sort of a mentorship relationship. My digital frontiers encounter was through a mentor. So it was a mentor who had gone to talk about the fact that, oh, I want to do this and I want to jump here, and I had gone to complain how I want to leave my job. And but then she looks at me and says, okay, have you heard about this program? How about you take it to add value to yourself, so that these ideas you have shared with me, you'll be in a position to do that. And it was just a conversation, like a conversation somewhere, and that led me to Digital Frontiers. So mentors have a role to play, but I cited my earlier days because I wanted people to know that sometimes they don't come in the definition or how we see mentorship. You know, sometimes there are people who are online, who are constantly writing, and you are reading from them, who are sharing their life journey, and then you are learning from them. So identify people who are aligned with your journey. They are ahead of you in terms of the journey that you are embarking on. Mentors can even be people who are your peers. You know, I have Joyce. Joyce is my colleague, but I always tell her she's my mentor as well, because Joyce will push you in directions that I wouldn't ordinarily push myself to go. You know, let's set goals, let's read books. I've always been a reader, but when I started work, I thought that the pressure of work, so I'll buy the books, I'll start reading, and but that relationship reinforced or sort of reignited my love for reading and other things. So yes, mentorship very important in one's career journey. They guide you, they sort of provide guidance on where you should go, because they have already been there. They're either ahead of you, they have been where you want to be, and they have all the experiences. So you don't have to walk the experience, but you can still tap into the lessons that are there. So for me, they have a role to play, but you should know what kind of mentorship you are seeking. And they don't always come in the sense of it how we think it should be. You know, you can get some from books, someone you love, you read about them, you see how they raise their kids, you see how they, and then you pick lessons. You can get them from the Bible, you can get them. There are some people who would even say, okay, Jesus is my mentor. And every time they're looking at his life and what he did, someone will say, oh, Peter is my mentor. So you can get your mentors from everywhere. But not saying also that the structured one is also very important. So if you find someone who wants to have a structured mentorship relationship with you, be prepared to be a mentee who is not just there to tap into the experiences there. You should position yourself such that you can learn in ways that are practical also. Okay, there are some mentors who would give you tasks, they'll give you assignment, they would ask you to read books. There are some mentors that you would support. So you learn from them by working with them or by working for them or by helping them in certain areas. You should be prepared to do all those things so that you can have the full scale or the full scope of whatever mentorship experience that you are having. But what I would say is that you can get or benefit from the experiences and guidance of people from afar. You don't always have to have wait for that opportunity to have that personal relationship. You can learn from them. You can look at the courses they've done. You can look at what they are writing. If you hear they are speaking at a program, you can buy tickets or you can pay, go and listen to them, listen to the lessons they are sharing. Because some people, we are all moving, like everybody is moving. Everybody is in a hurry. Everybody is going somewhere, planning somewhere. So it's not every time that they would have the time to sit you down. So if you can learn from them from afar, please take advantage of it. But mentorship is very important on your journey as you chart your own journey.
Thank you. You said it all. You said it all. People usually complain about how busy mentors are. But like someone said, their business is not your business.
Yes.
Their business
Yes.
is not your
It's not your
business.
business. Yeah.
You can they were already busy before you got into their life.
Their life.
So you better learn from afar. Yeah. So I have this mentor. I learned so much from afar, so much. I mean, he taught me how to turn off all my notifications. I mean, I saw he
Yeah.
was doing that. So sometimes I send him a message and he's never reading. Then he told me that his notifications are off. He goes on it when he wants. And I picked that clue because I realized that already the notifications are too many and they can you are
They
there.
can take
You
your
never
whole
plan
day.
to go to you never plan to go to even
TikTok.
WhatsApp notification. Even WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is a messaging platform such that once the message pops up, it can be something maybe you have even forgotten or something you had planned to do. So there's this probability of just saying, let me answer. Meanwhile, if you look at the rules of time management, you may have dedicated time to have been doing something you are not done. But then you just hop on that message and it distracts your whole day. I mean, that mentor taught me something. So I was talking to him one time, then he was like, he feels guilty when he used work time for personal things because he thinks that work time is for work. And I was like, such a person, how won't he make it in life? You see, like he's not cheating life. And he made it clear that he feels he's cheating life if he's using work time for something else. And I call it give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Okay. So I mean, these are we may all be guilty of this because you get to work, that's when you're sending payments of something. You get to work, that's when you're making a call that is unrelated to work. But if somebody had this in mind and said that work time is for work time, and this person has risen through the ranks, it actually means focus. It means excellence in whatever the person is doing. And we should all learn from it. I mean, I'm so happy with this discussion. And I believe we can go on and on and on. People complaining about not having a one-on-one mentor. The mentors are in books, they are far away. You can learn from their conversation, even if you make one call to someone, whatever they are saying, if they are true mentors, whatever they are saying will make a real impact in your life. So let's learn from mentors, let's network and do and then learn something from other people too. Now, I want us to move to things don't just happen. I believe you read my book. I want you to share your favorite story and the lesson that you learned, and how will you recommend it to someone? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so things just don't happen. They happen just. I think the
Things
day I got
don't
them
just happen.
just happen. They happen just, yeah. So I was supposed to actually be a co-MC um on the day of the launch. In
Yes,
fact,
Asanta, you disappointed
I
me.
and for some reason sickness decided to just find its way into the whole thing. So I ended up not going, which was fast. It had pained me because I had even posted about it that I was going to be a co-MC. So when I got a copy of the book, I think I got it the following day after the launch. I asked Barbara to deliver to me. In fact, I had requested my order earlier so that I wanted to read before the launch because I was going to
Yeah,
co-MC, and it
yeah.
didn't happen. So I was, I think, one of the few that got it after the launch, not those who were there. And I read it, and my son even started reading it. And one of the stories that stood out for me, in fact, is for this particular story, it actually felt that it was talking to me. It was about the age change. And I read that story and I called Barbara and I said, Barbara, I also have the same problem. I'm literally living, my birth certificate has a different age, year group, and my story is quite similar to hers, except that my dad wanted me to have the same day as the person he wanted to name me after. And since I didn't come the same day, he decided to orchestrate it so with the birth certificate. So my my date of birth and then the year and everything is a total mess up. But I like it. And why I loved that story and it resonated well with me was that you don't let circumstances define you. When things happen, like Barbara said, they don't just happen, like they happen for a reason. So you go with the flow, and just like Barbara decided to write a book because she felt like God had given her another chance at 40. For me, I feel like every day I live, God is giving me another chance to live my actual age and the anticipated age that my parent has given me. You shared a story on losing your pregnancy, um, the miscarriages, and that also resonated with me because I felt like those are things that we don't talk about enough as women. We all go through that experience and then we keep it to ourselves. But there are other people who want to take encouragement from our experience. So when I read it, it resonated with me because I had about two or three before my first child, and we don't share that enough. We bottle this in. And for me, your ability to put that story out there, your experience out there, for me is opens one a way for us to normalize conversations around that, even though it's a painful experience. We normalize it and we let others know that, you know what, you are not alone on this journey. And then it also helps us know what we can do to support people who go through such experiences. And so yes, the story about your mom and the business, the name she had made for herself in the market also resonated so deeply with me. Good name, they say, is better than riches. Someone who sells a local slippers, Chaluote, others travel far and near and come and still buy from her because they know that her quality is good. So for me, it was just about carving that niche for yourself such that people can look up to you and say, as for this person. So it was about her values, about her integrity, about the quality assurance that she had put in place to ensure that she was always giving her customers the best. And for me, it was also about the customer service that she was
Yes.
providing to her customers for people to. So all these things, I mean, for your mom's own, um it just gave me that boost that whatever it is that you are doing, you have to do it with the excellence that it requires. The Bible says, whatever your hand finds doing, do it as unto the Lord. So for me, it was like whatever work that you are doing as an individual, whether you are working for someone, I know that in Ghana we have this adage, why are you working? Like, why is the business for your father? If you work with that mentality, shame on you. Because whatever your hand finds doing, if you are doing it as unto the Lord and delivering it with excellence, it's not just the company that is growing, but you're also building a legacy and a brand for yourself. That whenever you move, people occupy roles every time, but when they do, you find companies say, oh, we miss this person who occupied this role. Why? Because they do work excellently such that when they leave, you can't get the value that they provide, which is why some people are high performers, some people are highly sought after. Some people do not even apply for jobs. Okay, they are poached because they know the quality they bring to the table. So these were, I mean, there are very relatable stories in there. It gave me a sense of your resilience as an individual. It gave me a sense of the values that you have lived by as an individual. It gave me a sense of the the spirituality. I always say that I believe in God, so I am driven by my faith in God. Whatever faith that book, your book also should highlight on the importance of faith in our lives as individuals. So whatever faith that you are holding on to, it could be faith in God, it could be faith in Allah, it could be whatever faith that you are, whatever it is, hold on to that faith and let that faith guide your path, guide the things that you do. Your book was so clear on your faith in God. It was very clear from the start to finish. It touched on the importance of having values as an individual and how those values define your life. I mean, the experience you shared about the job change from you being in the Treasury Department to a department that people thought that wasn't, when you look at the grand scheme of things in the financial services industry, it is not the bougie ones, and all of a sudden you had to go there. And for me, that's how that whole process was handled. The change in mindset. These are things that people would need to read for themselves. And if you're a young woman or a young man, I mean, I highly recommend things so this happens. They happen. I can go on and on and on with different stories, but I don't want to give you a spoiler. Let's get it. And the stories are, I love the fact that you had different stories and the lessons were very clear and straightforward, and they are very applicable. So, some books are living documents. You can always go back to them. Your book is one of such books. Like, you can always go back and read and find a lesson or two in that. And it's an incredible read, Barbara. So if you've not read it, please, I can cite examples, but it's okay. I've given you four chapters that I loved.
Well, thank you, thank you, so thank you. I mean, No matter what, you'll find a story that will relate to you.
to
I
you
remember I
exactly.
went for a conference and I don't even know how I spoke about that story. I spoke about a story on divine promotion, a divine promotion that I got. I mean, they had sent the promotion list, and I
Yes.
mean, it was a done deal. But I was talking to one of my friends. I said, this year, I've put 3 requests to God. He has answered two. He's left with one, and that one is the
Promotion.
promotion. And he said that, but they are doing normalization. What are you talking? I said, I don't know what I'm saying, but I know that this prayer
God
will
will
be
make
answered.
it.
He said, hey, I said, you, dear, your faith is big power. I said, I don't know, but it's going to happen. Then my boss traveled, and the old boss who had seen my work, in fact, the one who had traveled, they couldn't even reach him. Then they contacted my former boss, who was now the MD in Gambia, somewhere in Gambia. Then they said, bring a new list. Anytime I'm saying this, I'll say a new list.
A new list.
I'm telling you. They said, bring a new list. Within 5 minutes, a new list was sent. A whole promotion interview was organized. I told my whole family, please, I'm waiting for an
Pray.
important call. Give me space and let me listen. Let me have this interview. Hey, and you won't believe that when I shared that story, one of the ladies came to me and said that, do you know, for 15 years I've not been promoted, and this is why I am in this conference. He said, what you just shared is my message. I'm like, wow. I don't even know how I shared it. I don't even know. But
That
me,
was
anytime I'm
awesome.
talking, I'll talk about a story. I can't. I mean, my whole life is about stories. So I said, let me do this in my own unique way. The day I sent to my publisher, I said, what is this? He said, you are 40, you can write a memoir. I said, this is what. At the end of the day, he realized it was a memoir because it's all about me, just that it's
Mm,
written in a very unique way, so that
mm.
you can pick a story from the end and still get a
Yes, a
lesson.
lesson. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I see Dorcas. Let me read this comment. So we are bringing it to a close soon. Dorcas said, interesting conversation. I'm literally not staying in my lane. I'm learning everything some to be able to fit in this growing world. Most importantly, reading will open me up to the tasks ahead. It's very important. Reading has been underrated. I mean, imagine going somewhere and you're holding a book. Now everybody is holding a phone. If you go somewhere, you pick a book you are reading, they will look at you in some obscure way, as if you are some bookworm. But I mean, even we need to go off the screens sometimes. I
Yes.
learned about the dopamine detox. I
Yes.
mean, you won't know if you don't read. You should go
Mm.
off social media because a higher level of dopamine won't help you in any way. And you should read about this. You should read about the dopamine detox. It's very, very
Mm.
important. I mean, I appreciate Asantwa so much. Asantwa is my role model. You're my role model because I mean, I was looking at her. I'm like, hey, look at this girl go getters. They are just hey. I mean, even the name itself. And I went. You know, one day I went for the Women Imperial um,
Lovely
night out.
program. Mm-hmm.
One no, it was some night out,
Yes,
and people
yes,
were
I wind
sharing
up here
how
gala.
they've had 3 job offers and they don't even know which one to choose. I said, hey, me, I'm looking for one job. Hey, I said, these girls, I have to join them. And I'll say that this has been the best influence. I mean, these days I have very few friends, but the kind of impact I've had with the community I find myself, it's massive. I mean, I have great impact with all you around. I mean, how I want you to talk about visibility because your visibility on LinkedIn, let me tell you, your visibility on LinkedIn, it speaks just about you. Your profile everything is documented. If someone is looking for you, they just find you. And that's what most of our people don't know. Lastly, we are
Mm.
talking about visibility, but before I
Yes.
see Manola saying the stories are short, interesting, memorable, and filled with
Yeah.
life lessons. Yes, Emanuela, you
Yeah.
are right. So if you are a if you are a mentee, if you are a young person and you can't afford it, reach out to me. I'll give you a discount. I can give you as a huge discount, a 50% discount, because I just want you to learn. In fact, I even give a lot of the books for free because most people also sow seed into it. So once I get a seed, I know that I have 5 free books to give out. This is not a money-making thing. It's just to give impact in my world. It's a gift God has given that I'm impacting my world with. So before we end, I want Asanta to talk about visibility. Because Asanta, your visibility. All right, I'm listening.
No, Mama, but let me commend you for the incredible work that you have done on LinkedIn. I know
Within the
you started
shortest
with
time,
the
just
shortest
when
time,
I was
yeah,
looking at
just when
you,
you were so
overtaking anointing.
overtaking anointing. That's incredible. I'm proud of you. But let me say that I mean your visibility is what gives you access. It has become more like a trump card. Okay. They said until the lion learns to tell the story of hunting, the tale or the story lies with the hunter. Like, I'm just paraphrasing. So the hunter gets to be the one to tell all the story. Now your visibility online or offline is what creates access and opportunities for you. Online, you get the opportunity to share your story, to tell people who you are, what opportunities you are looking for, and what opportunities you have taken advantage of. You get the opportunity to share the work that you have done. So 2 days ago, a former colleague reached out and via WhatsApp and was like, "Oh, we are looking for opportunities." And I just WhatsApp that like the opportunities are out there, they are enormous, and the opportunities are even looking for people. But you see, you have not positioned yourself to let the opportunities find you. There are some people on LinkedIn that people would reach out to in their DMs, offering them opportunities just because of how they have shown proof of work. And so visibility is not just creating an online platform and just posting things. Okay, you are there to show proof of work, to show that you have done something that others can trust you with whatever task they are looking to give you. So you should first of all know your why. Why are you creating all the platform that you are creating on social media? And does the offline visibility align with your online visibility? Now I see people say I'm an expert in this, I help companies do this. What is the proof that you have done it? The proof is not in going to chat GPT to generate content to come and post it. The proof is sharing real life experiences of things that you have done. um when you are given the opportunity, will the things that you have said online align with the things that you can do? You say you are an expert in ABCD. That's very good, but when you are given the opportunity, can you do it? Telling your online story, what is the proof of work? What shows that all the descriptions that you put out there, you have done it? If you have not done it and you are seeking for opportunities to do it, how are you crafting your messages online so that when someone comes across your profile, they'll know that, oh, this person is a budding maybe product manager, or it's a budding this person, or a budding communications professional who is looking for opportunities to do something. So building your presence online is not negotiable, but in building it, just ensure that the online visibility aligns with your offline visibility. There are several platforms that allows you to build visibility online, and they all behave differently. So whichever platform that you are on, ensure to keep consistency, but align your message and your style to the persona of the platform that you are on. If you're on LinkedIn, the persona is different. Okay, so you have to align the messaging, the content you are putting there with the persona of LinkedIn and why you are there. Are you on LinkedIn to get career opportunities, to get speaking engagements, to learn? Then your connections, the conversations you contribute to should all be informed by that objective that you have there. And you have to fashion your strategy along that line. If you want employment, in which area, then what's the proof of work that you have done in that area? If you've not done any work in that area, what shows that you are willing to, and when you are given the opportunity, you will do it? Have you volunteered in that area that you are seeking opportunities? Is put it out there. Let people know. Okay, of course, I'm not saying that come and pour your whole life out there. You should know when something is private and when something is not private, that you can, just like your password, if you cannot put your password out there for the world, you don't share it. Do you get it? So in trying to build your personal brand and visibility, know what to share, what not to share, what what kind of content is private to you, and what kind of content can you leverage on to share lessons that people can learn from. So by all means, please build visibility, tell your story, take advantage of platforms that matter to tell your story, build consistency across platforms. You cannot be Eunice Antoine Kuma on LinkedIn and then on Facebook you are beautifully gargantually genetically excellent. Like you have some name that allows you to hide under that name to do all kinds of things. You should build consistency, because when people are looking for you, they type your name on Google. Have you even Googled yourself? Okay, after this discussion, go and Google yourself and see what pops up, what is online about, what information do you have about yourself? Does that information boost confidence? Does it inform a potential employer that you can do that, or a potential business partner that maybe Eunice is a trustworthy person I can collaborate with? I remember some years back, and an article I wrote on CSR led me to an opportunity that, because at the time I wasn't even prepared to leave my job, and they were even prepared to pay me to consult on that, because they were coming to Ghana and they needed someone with expertise in corporate social responsibility. And I had written several articles on corporate social. You won't believe that the person typed corporate social responsibility, I think in Ghana, my article came up, and then he copied the link to the article and sent me a message on LinkedIn that they came
Mhm.
across this artist. Okay, they'll be willing to speak to me and engage me to help them set up in Ghana in a consultancy arrangement. I even told them that, oh, I'm working, I can't do that full time, I can't, because I'm in a full time employment. They were prepared to actually pick me on based on what they had found online about me. Okay, so building visibility online is important. By all means, build it. But in building it, ensure that it aligns with your offline capabilities. You cannot lie online and then when you are asked, you are empty. So when you build the visibility online, do well to also equip yourself so that when you are offered the opportunity, you can be able to take advantage of it. Thank you, Barbara.
Wow, 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 wow. This is impressive. I mean, I believe we've all learned something. We don't need the whole world to hear this. We invited the world to hear, but those who found it important have joined. And I believe even if we made an impact on two, three, or four
Yeah.
people, that is impact. Today we've spoken a lot about career journey, having clarity, knowing what is important, networking, and mentorship, visibility, a whole lot, integrity. We've spoken a lot. We are bringing this to a close. Forgive me. We are bringing this to a close. Visibility is very necessary. Build yourself online and offline. And a lot of people don't know what to post. Get on some LinkedIn class, find the right content that would align with what you are looking for. Don't expose yourself, don't misrepresent yourself as if you are
Mm-hmm.
there already. Meanwhile, maybe you are looking for an opportunity, but we are always in a hurry to be on flyers as if we are
Yeah.
doing something. No, be who you want to be
Yeah.
known for. Okay, attract the right opportunities. So we'll bring this to an end. I believe this has been insightful. Our second episode on Voices of Influence. We don't just write about people who have influenced us. We want to hear their story. And today We have heard Asante's story and we've been inspired. We've learned a lot from your life journey, and we want to say thank you. I see Dr. saying super insightful session. I see a lot of comments. I am grateful for this opportunity, for your time. Time is money. We really appreciate you, Asantora. We thank you. We know this is a crown recorded in heaven for you because you made an impact in someone's life tonight. Thank you so much for joining. We'll bring this
You're
to an end
welcome.
and we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, all our followers. The recording will be on our channel, and we know we have all been blessed. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Barbara.
everyone.
Good
Yeah,
night.
thank you. Bye.